Hey, good day, and welcome to tonight's City Point podcast, live from the Gabba on the second day of the fourth and final Test match between Australia and India. It's been another eventful day, swinging both ways. I'm joined tonight by Declan Hooper from wicketsbiggest.com. Declan, what are your thoughts on today?
G'day, mate. Well, first of all, it was a great morning, and so just a bit disappointing that the weather didn't held out for us and the skies opened up, because it was voted to be a really enthralling afternoon, considering the way that the Aussies batted and the tail wagged, and then also how the Indians lost a couple of wickets but played some lovely shots too. So it would have made for a great afternoon, but unfortunately Mother Nature had other ideas. What did you make of things today, Phil? What was your overall summary?
Well, I thought initially the Australians were good this morning. Cameron Green looked fantastic straight down the ground, played some marvellous off drives and cover drives, and Tim Payne looked pretty good when he was playing properly, but then he seemed to just lose concentration when he got to his 50, and then that's his wicket sparked like a small collapse, and Australia lost 3 for 4, giving the ascendancy back to India, like we've seen all through this series. It's been sort of like backwards and forwards. One minute the Aussies are up, and the next minute the Indians are up, and it could have been Australia bowled out for 320, 330, and that would have been well below par, I think.
Yeah, I think, Tim Payne, 8 Test 50s, no Test 100s. Do you think there's something more to him getting to 50 and not kicking on with it?
Yeah, I think maybe it's just the fact that because the two, the middle order, normally Australia's middle order has been so consistent with Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne in there that he doesn't get much time in the middle, and that's probably what it is. And it's I was listening to some of the Fox Sports commentators saying, what would you prefer? Whether you prefer him to get like quick runs like Adam Gilchrist, or would you prefer him to stay around and get 50 while people get runs at the other end? So I think I'd prefer him I don't want him to come in and try and smash the ball around and get out for 6 or 7, because that's not really any good either. But as long as there's somebody scoring at the other end, which Cameron Green did in that partnership, then that's all well. I mean, as long as that's keeping the Indians out there for longer as well, and any time they're out there in the middle, it's going to weaken their resolve, I suppose.
Yeah, and another 40 there for Cameron Green. How impressed have you been with him so far in his early Test career?
Yeah, I think he's been very good, actually, and he seems to favour the down the wicket shot. Like I said, he plays through the V, he plays nicely through the covers, and he tends to play straight, which is good. And he's also shown in that Sydney Test match that he can get on with it when the need is there. So I think they've found someone in him. Whether his bowling's up to scratch at the moment, we're not sure, because he hasn't really bowled much either. But as a batsman, he's more than capable of playing in that number 6 role as a batsman on alone, let alone being an all-rounder. I mean, with the Australian attack, he might not be needed too much as an all-rounder anyway, because when they're firing, those 4 can probably do the job,
Speaking of the Australian attack, the tail definitely seemed to wag today. Saw some runs from even Nathan Lyon, which we haven't seen for a little while, playing some lovely shots. How impressed were you with the Australian tail today?
It was important that they didn't just come out and just stay around and not get runs. I think the most important thing was that Mitchell Starc played a few shots, and Nathan Lyon, from his first ball, came out with the intent to score quickly. He scored 24 off 17. Played the best on drive I've seen for a very long time. And Alan Border said it was the best shot he'd played in his 100 Test matches. So I mean, you can't get any more better praise than that. And it was a shot of the day. I mean, even the shot of the Test match, the on drive that he played. Then he played a sweep shot, which went for 4, and a pull shot which went for 4. So he played some wonderful shots. I think he's had some coaching from his brother Brendan. He's been definitely working on his batting. So maybe he's eyeing to move up to number 8 instead of Pat Cummins. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and obviously, speaking of Pat Cummins, he looked impressive this afternoon. Well, early afternoon, didn't he? Took a wicket and was moving the ball all over the place. He just seems to be getting better and better, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, the one downside to maybe what with the Australian attack at the moment is that Mitchell Starc doesn't seem to be swinging the ball much as the Indians did towards the end of in their innings and with the new ball. And if Stark's not swinging it, he's not as dangerous as he can be. But you can always rely on Pat Cummins, the number 1 bowler in the world, gets a wicket with his second ball that he's bowled. An absolute cracker. Steve Smith, to be fair, was a great catch, and to get rid of Shubman Gill, who's been a find for India, was a bonus for the Australians, and they needed to get those quick wickets up top just to put a bit of pressure back on the Indians after they'd fought back pretty well to keep the Australians down to 369.
Yeah, and obviously Nathan Lyon takes another wicket there this afternoon and edges ever closer to that big 400. How important do you think them wickets today will actually end up being in the general scheme of things of the Test match with the rain delays as we saw this afternoon?
It was key to get Rohit Sharma out. Rohit Sharma is the class in that top order for India, and he would be very disappointed with the way he got out. Nathan Lyon set him up beautifully, actually. Moved Mitchell Starc a bit closer at mid-on, tempted him to put him over the top, tested his ego, and Rohit Sharma fell for the trap. You could see by the way Nathan Lyon celebrated that he knew he'd got him. He'd got him. He's like, I've worked you out. And Rohit Sharma would be very disappointed. I mean, he got to 44 off 70-odd balls, and he looked fantastic. Why he went for that big shot over the top, I don't know. It was just coming close to tee as well. So it was a strange decision to make. But like I say, I think Nathan Lyon won that battle, and he's got a few more to come. I think there's a good chance he'll get his 400th in his 100th Test match, which would be a pretty fantastic achievement for somebody who started his career as a groundsman at the Adelaide Oval,
So there's still hope for us yet, hey?
There is still. Yeah. I'm not sure, but maybe you, not me. I don't know. 58 to be old.
And just a word on. I mean, obviously, it got called relatively early Brisbane time today. Just a word on your thoughts on obviously the call early, and I think we've got an early start tomorrow as well. Just your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I saw Tim Payne didn't look like he was very happy about the decision. Andrew McDonald in a press conference after the games, who's assistant coach, said, the umpires, he didn't go out on the ground, so he didn't really know how wet it was out there, but there was a wet patch towards the end, the Vulture Street end, and just square of the wicket, which they thought was a bit dangerous. I suppose player duty of care comes into play. You don't want injuries. I mean, the Indians wouldn't want another injury after what they've done, and Australia wouldn't want anybody to go. But look, I was disappointed because it was a quite decent crowd in today. I mean, the Stormtroopers came in. I don't know whether you saw that.
Yeah. And the Darth Vader there as well. Yeah.
They marched in earlier, and there was it was a decent crowd for a Saturday, considering the COVID. And so it was a bit disappointing that they didn't get a full day's play, or at least another couple of hours play, which they could have gone to 6:30 apparently. So we've got a 9:30 start tomorrow. That might suit the Australians because the ball should swing early in the morning in Brisbane, especially after a storm. So they'll be hoping for a quick couple of wickets in the first hour tomorrow, and then really put the pressure back on the Indians. But who knows what's going to happen? This series has been so up and down and backwards and forwards. We don't know what's going to happen next. I don't think we'll be I think we've got more chance of picking the numbers in the winning to win the lotto. But yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's been great fun. I mean, it's been a brilliant series, and you've got to give credit to the Indians. I mean, their bowlers today, all their new boys chipped in with 3 wickets. So
who'd have thought Rohit Sharma would be getting in on the wickets as well? Turn up for the books, hey?
Yeah, it's been a great few days here and a great series because the Indians could have easily capitulated after all the injuries they've had, but fair play to them, they've stuck at it. Without their leader, Virat Kohli, and he'd be definitely cheering on from back in India, and let's hope they can keep fighting. And the chances are with this weather around that we might get another 5 days here. So be interesting to see what happens. I mean, who knows? I mean, if India can get level with Australia or beyond them, and can get a few wickets, so they can put the pressure back on Australia. I mean, we can't tell. This series has been so topsy turvy. We don't know what's going to happen next. I don't think. If you be a brave man to predict the outcome of this at this stage. I mean, look, with this weather, a draw would seem more likely at this stage, but the players have said already that they reckon today was like a 3rd day pitch, so tomorrow will be like 4th day. So you'd think a bit more deterioration, a bit more uneven bounce, or more bounce at the Gabba. So another interesting day ahead, I think.
Early start for us both tomorrow at the Gabba, then, hey?
Yeah, 9:30. I think I'll be on the train at probably 6 o'clock in the morning if it's a Sunday. So I'll be staying off the beer tonight and getting an early night, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Well, looking forward to it, mate. So I'll see you tomorrow. We'll speak again soon, hey? Thanks for joining me tonight, mate.
Okay, well, we'll have a chat tomorrow. Hopefully the game will move on. 3rd day, it's moving day, I suppose, in test matches, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't get any more this bad weather and we get a full day's play.
Indeed, mate. So again, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Ta-ra.